Welcome, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic peeps, to my channel, Slime and Slashers, where, we talk about everything from Nickelodeon slime to horror movie slashers, but plenty of stuff in between, including books. And today is pretty much one of my favorite videos to do every month because I love to plan. So today, I'll be going through with you guys my January TBR. And yeah, I just love making TBR lists. It's always a lot of fun. And I'm extra pumped because January is always a special month for me since it's my birthday month. And I try to be a little more fluid with my reading. I try not to have a big theme. So I'm excited about all the books that I have planned for January. So let's go to this short intro, and when we come back, I can go through with you guys all the books that I want to read. Welcome back, guys. Okay, let's get right into the January TBR. The first book I plan on reading is my official book club pick. My book club, if you guys don't know, it's called the Midnight Book Society, after Are You Afraid of the Dark, of course. I love Are You Afraid of the Dark. It's one of my favorite old school Nickelodeon shows, and because I do talk nostalgia sometimes, I thought it was appropriate for the book club name, and everyone else seconded that name idea, and we've been going strong for over a year now, and I'm very excited. Alright, so our official pick is Gone to See the Riverman, and I've heard this novel is super extreme, super disturbing, but I'm very intrigued to get to it. I've heard that it's also kind of exciting and tense, so I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm going to be reading this along with my friend Lexi from Books with Lexi. Check out her channel. She'll even be co-hosting the live show with me. So we do have a Discord. It'll be linked below for any of you who wants to join and discuss the read as the month goes on. And as I said, Lexi will be the one co-hosting with me, so woo! By the way, I am still going to read the two other books that I nominated and put up in a poll, so you'll see later on my TBR, I still want to read those books that were nominated, so if you voted for another book, I'm still going to be reading and talking about it, so have no fear. Alright, next up, Pin by Andrew Niederman. This is also another book club pick, but not for my book club, for my friend Kelly's book club. She runs a club called the From Hell Book Club, where she and her club read a vintage paperback from hell type of read every single month of the year, and she asked me to pick January's group read. And so I picked Pin by Andrew Niederman because it seems twisted and weird as hell. The central premise, these two kids, a brother and sister, they seem to have a very weird family. Their dad gives them this accurate doll in terms of, like, the anatomical nature of it. I think it's very, very accurate, and I think something happens with the doll. I don't know. I know it's gonna be twisted, lots of weird, gross stuff happening, and I'm here for it. I can't wait. So yes, read along with us. Kelly has a Discord where we talk about the books that we read together, so stay tuned for that. Another thing I'm reading for a book club, my friend Amy over at the channel Amy McCaw, she's also a fantastic author of Mina and the Undead and the sequel to Mina and the Undead, which is called Mina and the Slayers. Check out both of those books. Fantastic. I've read the first one and I cannot wait to read the second one. So she asked me and my friend Katrina Brown if we would be interested in reading along with her new book club she's trying to start. She's thinking that the club read is going to be Frozen Charlotte. If that changes, I will let you know below. But Frozen Charlotte is a YA book that I've been wanting to read for a very, very long time. So I'm excited to finally make it a priority and to be reading this alongside Amy and Katrina. And we'll be having discussion all month long, and I will provide more details as they come to light. I will put that on my community tab. We'll also put it in my Discord, and I will also put the info on my Instagram. So stay tuned to all those areas to find out more and to find out how to join Amy, Katrina, and I. And again, this is Amy's new book club she's starting where they're going to read some YA, which I'm excited for. And yet another book club read, I'm going to be reading No Exit by Taylor Adams with my personal private book club that I run alongside my friend Kat. Of course, you can find Kat on YouTube at Kat's Novel Adventures, and she's fantastic. She's got a new channel, so please go and support her and sub. So yes, No Exit. I'm super excited. I'm like the last person on earth to have read this. So it says 13 hours, 4 strangers, 1 missing child, no exit. She knows her odds. She'll fight anyway. So I believe this girl is driving and while stopped somewhere, might even be trapped somewhere. She sees a kid trapped in another car. And I think that's the essential premise. I really don't want to read too much into this. I just want to get into it. I've heard that it's quick, fast-paced, and just bonkers intense. And so, because of all that, I literally cannot wait to get to this. Alright, so all those were book club reads, but now I have a buddy read I want to talk about. This is Stitch by Mark Morris, and I will be buddy reading this with my friend Alex over at the channel The Bookubus. I will link her below. She's one of my favorite people in general, and she's definitely one of my favorite booktubers because I love hearing her talk about vintage horror, and I really trust her opinion, and to me, in my opinion, she is like a vintage horror expert. In fact, I always call her the queen of vintage horror, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I truly believe she is the queen of vintage horror. This past year, we both buddy read Toady by Mark Morris together. Toady is also sold under another name. It's called The Horror Club in America, so you could find a vintage copy. You might find one and it's called The Horror Club. That's just the American version. Toady's the British version. We read Toady, which is a couple of 100 pages longer than The Horror Club, and we both loved it. So we both said we wanted to read more by the author Mark Morris, and so we decided to buddy read Stitch together. Look at this fantastic cover. Creepy. I'm really, really, really pumped for this. It says,
I will make you a fisher of men. Each autumn, among the falling leaves and the sounds of youth, they come to the university in their new clothes, with their special hopes and special insecurities. They want each other's approval. They want love and power. Stitch will give them all that they could ever want, an education of the soul. I am legend and destiny and temptation. I am the flood and the pestilence and the plague.
This sounds fantastic. So I think Stitch is a student at school or some kind of entity at school and corrupts a group of school people. I'm guessing a group of boys. I don't know. Anyway, I don't want to know too much, and I can't wait to get to it. And yay, I love buddy reads with Alex. They're some of my favorite buddy reads that I ever do. We always chat back and forth on the little app called Voxer because you could voice message there, and I love buddy reading that way, so I'm super pumped. Yay, Alex. Next up, I'm going to be reading The Shuddering by Anya Alborn, or Anya Alborn. I'm really not sure. After all this time, I've said her name a zillion times, I still don't know how to pronounce it. So I'm excited about this one. Essentially, I think it has to do with people being trapped in a snowy place and there's like a creature, so it's a creature feature type of thing. I've heard great things about it. I've liked Alborn's other books, so why not pick up another one? And this one's winter themed, so it's perfect for January. Next up, a book that is actually coming out in January. I don't usually read newly released books. However, I'm making an exception for my boy Grady Hendrix. He is releasing his new book, How to Sell a Haunted House, and of course I pre-ordered it. So as soon as I get that bad boy, I am cracking it open and I'm going to read it. I also just figure it's about a haunted house, but I literally have not looked at the description. Don't need to know. All I know is that Hendrix wrote it. I love Hendrix. So let's go, bitch. Next up, a reread. I'm going to be rereading The Ninth House by Lee Bordugo. I read this about 2 years ago and freaking loved it. It is a little chunky, however, I'm so excited to revisit this. I might even do audio because the first time I just did it, by reading with my eyes. Alright, so the reason I'm rereading this is because the brand new sequel is coming out. The sequel is called Hellbent. It is coming out in January, so here is another new release, let's say, that I'm going to get to right away. So I'm going to reread this kind of early in the month so I can be ready for Hellbent when it's released. And I already pre-ordered the Amazon version, so I'm going to be getting that. Barnes & Noble has a really cool red version that I didn't pre-order. I kind of want to get that too. We'll see. Anyway, yes, so both books I'm super jazzed about, and I can't freaking wait. Next up, a ridiculous book. It's called Nelfs, I think it's pronounced, Gnelfs, by Sydney Williams, and this is a vintage horror book about these little characters or creatures that come to life. I've heard it described like Smurfs, but if they were evil. So, evil Smurfs? Yeah. Just to repeat again, I've already said this phrase once, but let's go. Yeah. By the way, before I move on to the next book, Nelfs was one of the books that was nominated as a possibility for my official book club read, The Midnight Book Society. It did not win. In fact, it lost terribly, but I would buddy read it with whoever wanted to buddy read it. And if you want me to do some kind of chat about it, or if you want to make sure I do a thorough review during my wrap-up, let me know. Or even a vlog. Any of that, let me know. I might even be doing a vintage horror vlog, because I've got a couple of vintage titles that I could group together and read in one singular vlog. So that might work out perfectly. Next up, a book that is off of my 23 books to read in 2023 list. This is Pen Pal, and I've been dying to get to this. Everyone says it's great, and I want to see what I think about it, because I don't know, it's time. Because again, I'm last to get to this, but I'm still eager. I'm still pumped up about it. So January, Pen Pal, here I come. And my 12th book of my TBR is Witch by Christopher Pike. This was also included in my book club poll, so it did lose. Again, the official book we're reading is Gone to See the Riverman. However, Witch came in second, so I'm still going to read it. It's on Kindle. You could find a new edition digitally on Kindle. As I said, it does cost money. However, I am excited to read it. I know my friend Katrina's read it and has loved it. I know my friend Elizabeth actually said it was one of her favorite Pike books growing up, so I'm excited to see what I think about it. I love Christopher Pike, and one of my goals for 2023 is to read more Christopher Pike, because I've really enjoyed most everything I've read by him. So, Witch, here I come. And last but not least, the 13th book of my TBR, and if I get to any more than 13, it'll just be mood reads, but the 13th official pick and choice and possibility, you could say, on my TBR is Wolf's Hour by Robert McCammon. I just want to get to more Robert McCammon in 2023, so that is why I am starting off the year right with a Robert McCammon book. I am reading Swan Song as my official book club pick for February. It is a chunker, so just know we are going to be discussing that book in a live stream chat in March. So it's the February book club, but we will have the chat after the month is over in March. So you've got until sometime in March to read Swan Song. So just to plan ahead, if you're planning on joining us, just know that it's coming up on the horizon. And Amy Noel from Amy Noel Reads is going to be hosting that with me on my channel. So thank you so much, Amy, for buddy reading it with me and for agreeing to host the book club chat with me. All right, so that is stuff to look forward to. Wolf's Hour is not a book club pick. It's just for fun on my TBR to read more McCammon. Because you know I'm all about McCammon, so here we go. All right, the reason I have 13 books on my TBR, it's because my birthday is on January 13th, and this year it falls on a Friday, which is actually the day I was born. I was born on an actual Friday the 13th, so it's fallen on a Friday again in January of 2023, so I am super pumped. So in honor of the Friday the 13th, January 13th, I am choosing 13 official books for my TBR, so that is why I had that number specifically. So anything more will be a bonus or an extra, and I'll just kind of, you know, see what I'm feeling like if I get past that. But 13 is kind of a hefty TBR, so we'll see if I'm even able to get to those 13 or not. I'm hoping so, because some of my most anticipated reads of the entire year are on this list, including, like I said, How to Sell a Haunted House, Hellbent, which is the sequel to Ninth House, Pen Pal, which I have high expectations for. My friend Lexi has loved that book. My friend Amber has loved that book. So many people I know have loved that book, except for my friend Amy. She thought it was okay, but she didn't absolutely love it. But most people loved it, and so I hope I love it too. Okay guys, do you like the sound of any of these books? If so, comment below. Are you planning on reading the book club read with me? Going to see the Riverman? Are you wanting to buddy read any of these books with me? Let me know below. We could always do something on Instagram where we chat back and forth, etc., etc. Are you picking up the new Grady Hendrix book? I'm curious to see if you're going to pick it up right away or if you're going to wait a little while before you read it. Alright guys, for this time though, that is it for me. Till next time, you guys know what you can do. Keep on killing it. Bye guys.